The simplicity of God can be a really confusing attribute. There's a number of misconceptions out there with regard to God's simplicity. On the one hand, there might be this misconception of God is not deep, He's not rich, He's not mysterious, He's this simple thing or being. There's another misconception out there about God's simplicity, and that would be that all His attributes are basically the same. So His holiness, His goodness, His mightiness, His immutability, these are all sort of collapsed into the same thing. That, of course, is not the case. Each of His attributes communicate something meaningful about who He is. So what is the simplicity of God? Why is this an important aspect of understanding who God is? Well, what the doctrine of simplicity teaches us is that God is not in competition within Himself. He's not made up of disparate parts that can be pulled apart or ranked or put in competition with one another. Think about yourself, or I can think about myself. I have hair, but I have less hair than I probably used to have. I'm human and I have a brain, and this brain is the same brain that I had when I was younger, but hopefully there's a little more going on, a little more things I know now than I did before. Think about creation. Think about the trees. Trees have leaves and limbs, but those leaves and limbs can grow or they can also fall off. God is not like any of this. Who God is in His attributes is perfect and full and infinite, and these are not set against one another. They also don't grow and diminish, ebb and flow. So when we think about God as simple, it is very important, especially as we think of His attributes. There is a common move in theology, and you even hear it in certain writing or preaching, where we want to set God's attributes over and against one another, or in competition one another, that His love must triumph over His justice, or some version of that. But to know God's simplicity, His rich, infinite fullness, keeps us from ranking His attributes or setting them against one another. God is so beyond our human divisions and our human rankings. We are so wont as fallen human beings to create God in our image, to bring our divisions and our rankings into Him. But He is beyond that, and God's simplicity teaches us how He is beyond that, and how His love, His holiness, His justice, His immutability all hold together perfectly, infinitely in eternity to His utter glory.